God is going to guide you. You also have a cloud of witnesses that in our church, but even sister churches and the government and friends. And also I've seen diaspora pastors, and that is going to make a difference in your job. I want to thank Presiding Bishop because of recognize this need. When Bishop Myrori told me, oh yeah, I'm going to be Bishop of Diaspora, I was wondering how. But I remembered one thing, and everyone who has gone studied abroad, you know, I went to school at some point in the US, and you know, when I got there, I was wondering which church to. This church, I was not fitting there. I went to another one, I wasn't fitting there. I went to another one, and I told someone, this is very nice. He told me, but just remember that they don't mind also same-sex marriage. So, as you say, it's very good. Just get used to the fact that you have. So, and I was wondering what to do. I eventually found myself in a small church where the Kenyan diaspora had established themselves to start a church. The other day, one of our young child went in another country. Then, of course, in the usual way, you are encouraging them to, when you go there, go to church. Make sure that you're going to church, you continue going to Sunday school, you do this. Then the first day, he goes to the school and then tells the school, I want to go to church on Sunday. And everybody was shocked in the school that, church? So said, okay, you're going to church. They looked for some 2-3 friends. They were all from Africa, and they told them, okay, there's some church at some corner there. And when he reached there, he found that everybody was above 60, and everybody had gone inside the church with their dog. So he was wondering, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, saying, no, please allow me not to go to church. So, and as a parent, when you send even your child out of the country, you're wondering what will happen to them. And I know many parents here have many testimonies. And I think this is really important. I believe your office, before many of us here in future, God willing, we send our children to study out of the country, we would actually come to you and ask you, now, my child is going to Scotland or going to which country? Can your office, Bishop, help us locate where they will go, who is there, what church is available, and how will they be mentored? You know? So don't look at this office as a small issue. It's a big thing. That means going forward, we must be able to resource your office with research skills, coordination skills, networking, getting people that will help many of these diaspora. Somebody gets a job. The government is working very hard to get people to jobs abroad. Before they leave, your office will be the place to consult, to say, I'm now leaving. Please start finding for me somewhere that I'm going to go and fellowship. So you have a big job, a very, very big job. You're actually pastoring a bigger, you know, space on earth, because it is everywhere except Kenya. So meaning that you have a very big role. Number two, I'd like to say that that means also you have to learn. The other challenge is that you have to learn other cultures. You understand before we send people to go there, what happens in that country and so forth. And I'm very happy that the presiding bishop allowed you to wear that very chain, because it's part of adaptability to your job. And I saw when you were going to sit down and your wife hugged you, you tried. You tried. You know, it's not very easy to hug a dry Kalenjin man. Yeah, you did very well. So you have to be more adaptable as you progress in the job that you are going to have. Let me say a few things that Reverend Myrori did when he came to visit me. What he did when he became the pastor here. He's been doing also this idea of winning back old members back to the church. So he came and asked me, can you tell me exactly why your father is a reverend of the church, he's a pastor of the church, and so forth. How come when you came to Nairobi University and thereafter you could not transit directly to Milimani AIC? And I think there is an answer to that. I didn't find despite the fact that I was in Christian Union leadership, not just for my CU, but in the whole country, I didn't find a place, I didn't find one AIC minister who came to preach to us in the entire CU, in our conferences, so it was easy to transist because we were either with Kalisto, Karita Mpagara, Pastor Nyangao. So by the time I was making a decision after church, it was very easy because of the friendships that we built when I was a student in the university. That means that there is a lot of work we have to do, and you have to do as ministers of the gospel in this church within the high school and the university, so that it makes it very easy for many of our members who join when they are members of this church but are unable to transist. And if you want to bring many of them back, that man in the corner there, you need to talk to Bishop Kalisto Dede to allow you to release a good number of them, because I know where they are. Number two, I want to say that I said this when I came to this church the other day. The success of any church is the foundation, and the foundation is a Sunday school. If there's an area I'd like to contribute and support in this church going forward, is actually the ministry of Sunday school. Because every time I stand as a leader, and it's amazing that everywhere I go, whether I speak in a rally, in Bunge, in any place, the only first place I refer to is I was a Sunday school teacher, and I learned this in Sunday school. It doesn't matter the other things I learned when I became a church member, a leader, and so forth. So that foundation is extremely important. And if we want to win our children, it is true what the Bible says, that teach a child, the ways of the Lord, and they will not forget. And it is true. If we are going to struggle, we are struggling about what to do with our young people, values, and so forth. The place to invest in is Sunday school. And I think that this is an encouragement to the entire church to think about that. The last thing I'd like to say is that there are various threats that we face as a nation. And I speak now as a cabinet secretary with the responsibility of looking at our internal security. I have gone through the country now, through Jukwaa la Usalama, visited many of and we went with you to a good number of counties. And the conversations, some are similar, some are unique to some counties and so forth. There are certain threats that are affecting our country. Number one, presiding bishop, is we have to really address this issue of drugs and alcohol abuse. It's a big threat to our nation. We have to reach out. We have to have rehabilitation centers. We have to deal with this issue. And it cannot be done by government alone. This is where the church can partner with us to deal with the issues of drugs and alcohol abuse. Number two is the question of sexual and gender-based violence. In some counties, they report 18 to 30 children defiled per month. I was in Western and Nyanza region, extremely prevalent in places like Bungoma, Kakamega, Busia, Siaya, Migori, Homa Bay. All those places, we are recording between 18 and 30 children every month being defiled. And it is because of the repugnant behaviors in society and people trying to cover up. And the people who do so are people in responsibility, purported to be pastors, to be chiefs, police officers, and teachers who take advantage of young people. The church must rise up, and I dare say we need a champion in this country, outside government, to raise the nation to think through the questions of sexual and gender-based violence, which is prevalent in our society, including spouses fighting, killing themselves, mothers killing their children because of mental health issues, and so forth. And this is an area we must be able to work together. The other threat to our nation is gangs and hooligans, and particularly gangs. Again, we must reach out to our young people to make sure that these things are addressed together. And finally, the challenge of banditry and terrorism. I'm so impressed with what the AIC Church is doing in Kerio Valley region. When we did the security operation, which lasted less than 2 months, Bishop Kipsoi, who is my bishop, is here, and the team from Kerio Valley, thank you, and the bishops from Kaseton, and from West Pokot, and our bishop from also Baringo. All of them have worked closely together to reach out to those whom are living banditry, are getting reformed. The 3 dangerous bandits in Kerio Valley, the first place they went before handing in their guns was AIC Chesongoch. You know, they went to the church, prayed for, got their courage, took their guns. And because of the act of the 3 of them, now we have guns being returned by criminals, you know, up to 150 in one area. And this is unprecedented. I tell you, I am from that county. I was a senator. This is unprecedented. And we are going to do that in the entire valley with the support of the church. And we want the church to request the church to come in and help us in the process of de-radicalization. Because these are people who are used to radical behavior of banditry and so forth. And as we work together, let's do this to make sure that our nation is safe. Let me finish by saying that Reverend Mairori, we will stand by you and with you in based on our abilities. His Excellency the President spoke to you. He also told us last night that we pass his greetings to the church and wish you well. Of course, his presence is felt here. And I'm sure why we have a president who is AIC is because of Koko Sara, who is here with us today. Thank you. Thank you, Koko, for being with us today. And always, and I know you're a member of this church, and for giving us a president who is God-fearing and who is able to work with the church to build this church. We are lucky as a church that there is a possibility that in the next elections, the person who will be running for president, of course, to defend his position is an AIC, and most likely, the leader of the opposition running against him is AIC. So we want to say, please pray for us, all of us. Pray for all of us. And of course, assess what we can do. And if you find that you have the capacity to bring us together, bring us together. There is no issue, so that we work together for our nation. Asanteni sana. Reverend Mairori, you have been harassing me, not for yourself, for the church across the country. And thank you for helping me and others here, my friends here, to serve. Reverend has taken me to Meru. He's taken me to Kambani with Reverend Kimulu here, Bishop Joshua here of Nairobi. He has, every time he comes harass me, I'm going to Nyandarua, I'm going where? And sometimes building the church, buying a car for a bishop, doing something. So we have agreed with my friends here that because of that harassment you have harassed us, and because we usually go for such functions, there is something being done for the bishop, we have agreed that we will also get you something. We'll get you a vehicle for service. And so most of those friends are sitting here. We will visit you and give you directions in the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.